Have you ever wondered how good this Chevrolet Corvette really is compared to the other Group 3 cars and GT7? Well, I'm going to test its acceleration, top speed, tyre wear, fuel consumption, performance under BOP on different tracks, upshift points and brake balance. That's right, I'm going to do the work so you don't have to. Coming up. Hello again, and thank you for joining me for the next instalment of our Group 3 car comparison journey. This time we're looking at the Chevrolet Corvette to see how it stacks up against the others. I did say in my last video that I want to talk and edit less so that I can get more comparisons out sooner, so let's get straight into the acceleration test. So not only am I trying to find out which car accelerates the quickest in this section, but I'm also testing when to upshift the gears for the quickest speed. All of the tests in this series are completed with preset saves in the online lobby section of the game, and all of the tests have equal conditions and BOP set to on. The best that the VW Beetle managed was 27.296, and in a second you'll see that the Corvette is almost there, upshifting at 50% on the rev bar. The time for this run is 27.329. For these acceleration tests, I start in this lane and stay in this lane the whole way to ensure the comparisons are equal across the board. The online lobby allows me fuel weight and tyre wear as well. For these runs, I'm using racing mediums and 100 litres of fuel. Each run consists of an outlap to the start line and then a reset to the pits after the finish line. This way every run is equal. Upshifting at 75% has already beaten the Beetle with this time of 27.016. This next one is upshifting at 90%, and I try to be as accurate as I can, although it is tricky shifting gears at the correct point while trying to stay in lane. If I'm too far out, I reset it and do it again. I use this Tokyo Expressway because it's the only track with a straight from start to first split besides Special Stage Route X, and I can't be spending over 5 minutes each time getting to the start line. As you will see, there is not much difference between this run and the 75% time, coming in at 27.012. The Beetle was best at 100% upshift on the rev bar, so let's see what the Corvette can achieve on this one. Compared to the Beetle, the Corvette has much more traction on launch, and the lack of wheel spin is probably why it's quicker. This car has a front-mounted engine, rear-wheel drive and weighs 1300 kilos across all of the BOP specs, so launch grip is quite surprising. The 100% upshift time was surprising too, as it is slower at 27.104. This fifth run is to find those cars that find extra speed by being revved out to the max, and this car had more drive in it than the Beetle before topping out, but I wasn't expecting as much as the times were already on the decrease. After this run, I did also go on to test starting with 80% throttle, starting with 50% throttle and starting in second gear, but none of those improved the time. Fully revving out this Corvette achieved a time of 27.261. So looking at the table, the time of 27.012 puts the Corvette in first place and the time to beat. We now also know that upshifting somewhere between the 75% and the 90% points on the rev bar will achieve the best acceleration. For VR users, that would be somewhere around the first yellow LED in car. Next up, we have the first of two top speed tests. On this first one, we are looking for the flat out top speed of the Corvette in a straight line, and there is no better place to judge that than the Route X special stage. For this test, I still have 100 litres of fuel at times 1, but I now have soft racing tyres fitted, and the tyre wear is off as I didn't see any need for it. The first stage of Route X takes us up a long hill and then back down the other side. After the downhill section, the cars slowly lose speed before settling at their natural top speed before the bend at the end. So when I reach the 10,000 metre gate, that is where I'll take the top speed reading. To save you from the pain of watching this through, I've sped up the footage until we get closer to the end of the straight. As you can see, now we have a top speed of 280 km per hour. I've used kilometres per hour rather than miles per hour, as it is a smaller unit of measure that will show finer differences between the cars. So the Corvette tops this chart too, with a decent top speed advantage over the Beetle. Let's move on to the second top speed test. The next top speed test is a single lap time around the Daytona tri-oval ring following an out lap to get up to speed. We pick up the video at the start of the hot lap and the time we have to beat is 53.465 set by the Beetle. The reason that I'm doing this extra top speed test, even though I know how fast it goes, is to see which cars, if any, lose speed during high speed cornering. For this test, all the settings are the same as the last one, and I'm trying to keep the car to the inside line of the track all the way round to keep the results fair and equal. As expected from what we've seen so far, the Corvette is significantly quicker at 52.015. So as we cross over to the leaderboard for this one, we have confirmation that the Corvette is on top. You'll also notice that the metric for this one is time, not speed. Next up, I'm testing cars against each other around the low speed, mid speed and high speed tracks under the GT7 BOP track specifications. The first group is a low speed BOP track, and you're seeing a list of all the tracks that are assigned to this category. For my low speed BOP tests, I'm using the Sardegna B track for its long straight, tight turns and elevation changes. Although we know that the Corvette is quite fast in a straight line, it does feel really heavy in the turns. The braking isn't as good as the Beetle and it just feels stiff to steer. I wondered whether this car has a stiffer compression settings on the springs, as it just isn't agile around the bends. I'll leave all the techie stuff to the experts. I tried different brake balance settings and found my best times with +2. I also found it very useful dropping to first gear on tight turns to slow the car down. Only racing VR, so all of these tests will be in this view as the online lobby won't allow me any other replaying options. The fuel consumption is set to ×1 and the tank is full as weight distribution matters for true comparison. The tyre wear is also set to ×1 and I'm on medium racing tyres. I'm taking my final reading from the optimum time at the end of each stint. I usually do 2 or 3 stints per track and each stint is an out lap and 10 timed laps. At first I check out what brake balance and gear changes work for the turns, and the final stint is trying to be faster. As we cross the line on this one, it's all eyes down to the in-car HUD to see that I have an optimum time of 1 minute 21.121. As we look at the leaderboard for this one, it's important to remember that whether you're faster or slower than me, it's all about the comparison between the cars from one driving style. I hope these tests will give something to everyone no matter how fast you are. For the mid-speed test, we're at the Road Atlanta track, and here is a list of all the tracks assigned to this mid-speed category. All of the settings are exactly the same as the last one, meaning we have nice heavy cars to test on the tricky downhill section of Sector 1. The time trial section of the game is great for practice, but they lack the weight of a full tank of fuel, meaning they are lighter, quicker and handled differently to when it matters in a race. By testing in the online lobby mode, I hope to give you more of a realistic idea of how these cars compare to each other in those big moments. The Corvette feels really stable in this track compared to the Beetle, but seems to be lacking something. I wasn't suffering any understeer until I took the brake balance to +4, so I found my best times when it's set at +3. This improved my ability to turn into the corners. I'm not an expert on these things by any means, but I just can't find any of this data online from recent BOP updates, so I thought I'd give it a go myself. In fact, the only solid car comparison series I've found on YouTube was from Tidgley, who was doing something very similar a couple of years ago, so hats off to him for the hard work. I am currently an A+ driver, but I'd really consider my ability to be a bit lower towards the top of the A rank, as those top guys are rapid with many years of experience. So we can see that the optimum time for this test is 1:19.618. Let's see how that compares to the Beetle. Considering its straight line speed, the Corvette is once again very disappointing round the track, coming home nearly half a second slower than the agile little Beetle. I do have a feeling though that the next track will suit it better. That takes us on to our final BOP test, and all of the remaining tracks fall into this high-speed BOP group. From the list I chose Daytona because I love it, and I'm sure the Corvette will love it too. American cars are built for tracks like this, so I expect it to perform much better. Trail braking into the tricky turn 1 felt nice, although I wanted a bit more rotation before I hit the gas. I found my best times using +2 brake balance on this track. +1 was nice, but just didn't turn enough, and +3 wasn't quick enough. I continued to use first gear to slow the car down in a couple of turns, exiting in second. The balance felt nice and sturdy. All of the settings are the same as the last two for this one, and it's important to add that I added track limit penalties to my saves for these lap time tests so that I couldn't cheat the results by cutting corners. For the bus stop chicane that's coming up, I carried more speed out of it by dropping only to 4th rather than 3rd, as a lot of the power is in the mid part of the gear and the stiffer springs stabilise the car well. As we come out of the chicane, I'm going to speed up the rest of the lap to the end. As we cross the line, we can see from the in-car HUD that we have an optimum time of 1:47.091. As I transfer over to the leaderboard, we can see that it's over 7/10 quicker than the Beetle, regaining some respect over its recent performances on the last two tracks. Finally, we're at Brands Hatch so that we can test the fuel consumption and the tyre wear in these cars. These comparisons will be useful when deciding what car you're going to take into your private leagues or Group 3 seasons. They are often the difference between making one stop or two. For this test I'm using racing soft tyres at ×5 so they wear quickly, and the fuel consumption is set to ×3 starting with 100 litres in the tank. From what we've learned previously, I'm upshifting between 75% and 90% in the rev bar, as that is the fastest for this car, and the brake balance range for this car is best between +2 and +3, so I've set it to +2. My aim is to drive this car as I would race it, based on the tests I've done so far. I'm going fast but not too mad, as I don't want to ditch it and ruin the test. The idea is to do as many laps as the tyres will allow me, and calculate the fuel consumption from there. Of course I won't make you watch all of it, so I've cut out most of the middle part to get us there quicker. As we skip to this part of the run, things are definitely getting sketchy now on the tyres. As I carefully negotiate this bend that's coming up now, we can see that the front left is just about on its last legs. As we pass under the bridge, the very last bit of white will disappear from the front left on this next right-hander. As I pull over, we can see at the top of the windscreen that we are on lap 8, meaning that we've completed over 7 laps including the outlap. There is also 61% of fuel left, meaning that we've used 39%. This translates to 39 litres as we started on 100 litres. This graphic shows what part of the lap the front left died, meaning that we completed 7.5 laps of the course. That figure then places the Corvette in second on this leaderboard, wearing out its tyres over a lap sooner than the Beetle. The final table then shows that when we divide 39 litres by 7.5 laps, we are using 5.2 litres of fuel per lap. This is quite surprising, as we've effectively been short shifting the whole way round. This shows how bad on fuel this Corvette is compared to the Beetle, which was upshifting at 100%. So there we have it folks. This is only my second video and I will speed up to get you more comparisons quicker. If you like this content then please hit the like button or drop me a comment. All feedback is welcome at this stage. Thanks for watching and I hope you join me next time. Jams out.